Hello, here we are again for another Saturday Night Live. And interesting what's going on out there. We've had a revisit of winter here in the Toronto area right after Easter. I remember many years ago, must have been at least 25 more years ago, we were out at a bar up north, Midland area, and we had it was Easter, we had a crazy snowstorm that we had to drive back home, and there's nobody on the highway, like 3 in the morning, and a foot of snow was on the ground. It was pretty interesting. That was interesting. Yesterday we actually drove up north, and there was a little snowstorm, a few whiteouts, but it didn't remain on the ground. The weather's a little bit on the warm side, so that's a good thing, but cooler than usual weather. Everything's changing all over the world. The only thing that's guaranteed is change. And we either accept it and embrace it, or we struggle and fight against it, which what we see a lot of people choose to do. And it's very, very challenging for things like this to happen. We look at what I posted today. I just posted that little article about a river popped up overnight in Argentina. If you guys have read that little article, these things are nothing strange when we start having a little understanding that environment dictates outcome. And it's all to do with the field interactions. There's no greater force than emotion and intent, because that is creation. So when the fields are at a certain state for a river to appear, they will appear. Time, space is irrelevant. And this is the magic of plasma. We call it magic because we don't have a full understanding, but more and more we continue to add to the knowledge as it becomes more and more known to us as we dwell into that realm of knowledge, which is as vast as the stars. Because at the end of the day, we are our own universes, and we operate on the same principles as the universe. It's just that we haven't been told. And it's not believable to most of us, because through our mainstream science, it's all based on matter. Matter is futile and will only lead you to confusion. This is why we see mainstream science changing things every few years or less. Not that it hasn't benefited us in some ways, but in other ways it's been very limiting and controlling and enslaving to humanity by kind of forcing it upon us through our systems of indoctrination and all the things, schooling, etc.
Yeah, I find that with schooling and science and all that stuff, what it does is
You're a scientist.
yeah. So there's so much focus on the details, and we don't look at the big picture. We miss the big picture. Are we happy? What is stressing us? Does this feel natural? We don't ask questions because we're told this is the way, This is what you learn. You know, you study undergrad, masters, whatever. You go more and more into specifics, and you're told what's right and what's wrong. You know, and you don't get to think for yourself.
You get a nice piece of paper to hang on the wall.
Yeah.
And not that they don't have any value. That's not what we're saying. Everything has value. Everything's for purpose. But, you know, if we just let down our guards a little and open up our minds to endless, infinite possibilities, everything starts changing. And this is why what we've seen, for example, once computers hit the market, like the CD, DVD, that principle of able to transmit sound through light. That was, I think it was, the concept was done sometime in the 60s or 70s, if I'm not mistaken. But it didn't come to be till I think it was the 80s when the CDs first came out, if I remember correctly, late 80s was it? If anybody remembers. But just to see the emotion and intent. Everything starts with that thought, and then the emotion and intent is the driving force. It took that long back then, but look at what we're seeing today, many, many years later. Things come to concepts, into matter, into realization much, much quicker and quicker and quicker. You know, the rates of adaptability and increase in computer powers and so on and so forth, everything's happening quicker and quicker and quicker because our realization and our belief system and so on and so forth is all expanding and changing to those degrees. Also, you know, talking about what we're all focusing on, you know, the eating and so on and so forth. Just in the last couple of years or so, we've seen a huge, vast people interested in, fasting and or going on to a lifestyle of actually not consuming any physical foods. Maybe just going liquiditarian or something, and that's been increasing as well. And we're going to see these ideas and concepts expand more and more as we go along. And you know, to see this stuff, and it's just a beautiful thing to watch. I remember in 1990 when I decided to, you know, stop eating everything, animals and all that stuff, vegetarianism or whatever. It was a concept that people thought you were crazy. In 1990, to get, like, say, a vegetarian pizza or whatever would be, what? No meat, no cheese. You know, it was just like, wow. And then, you know, moving on into the later, in the late 90s and so on and so forth, we started seeing that concept being realized more and more and more so. You know, you're able to get vegetarian pizzas and so on and so forth. And then going into, you know, raw at the year 2000, since January, had same kind of thing. Raw? What are you talking about? You don't cook. Same things. I've seen the same thing happen again with that. You know, the fasting thing, it was not something people would really even consider. Very, very, very few people in all those years. You know, started in the 2000s, started, you know, a little more interest into it and so on and so forth. And then, you know, the last 2 years, like I was saying, you know, raw foods, and then actually between mid 2000 to late 2000, raw foods was something that was a norm. You started seeing things in the supermarket, raw this and raw that and raw this, and you know, now we see it's all over the place. It's interesting the way things developed. I've seen many things go through these cycles. Even about the 4-3-2 music. And then when was it? Late 2000s. Yeah, late 2000s, when we were starting to, a friend of mine introduced us, and we were starting to look at that. And, you know, he spent like 20 years at that time researching it, and there was not much on the internet about it. And then we started sharing more and more info on it, and started growing, and we seen that started to develop. And then all the naysayers came on board, and there's the battle between the frequencies and so on and so forth. Like we see everything on the internet, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful, and everything mixed. And you can find anything about anything on both sides of the coin, except the truth sometimes. So we don't have all the answers, but hey, we've come leaps and bounds with what we've been able to do, and how people have been able to help each others with just a little bit more knowledge from what we've learned in all these years, and from all the great teachers and so on and so forth. So it's just an amazing thing that when I look back and I see the way they all developed, and they all have the same thing in common. First people resist it, think you're crazy, and then it's accepted as the norm. Like that saying goes, I don't have it in my memory. I'm not good with words myself, but I think most of you know what I'm talking about. I posted that saying a few times. Yeah, it's interesting, guys. It's a beautiful experience, seeing people being able to take charge of their lives. But the challenge for a lot of us is having to come to the realization that, do we choose to go back to our old ways? And some of us do, because it was too good to be true. This can't be real. I must go back to my old ways and stuff my face and have all those pains and suffering come back to me. And we see this over and over. We all do it. I've done it. I'm guilty, just like everybody is. And we do it because this is what is surrounded in our environment. So Master Fast comes along and is that river that appears out of nowhere, like in Argentina. Because that river's needed. It didn't appear because man created it. It appeared because the environment was ready, and the change had to happen. So that's the way I see that this information came to be about Master Fast. And a lot of people don't agree with it, and that's okay. It's fine. People come and go in all sorts of ways and concepts, and everybody has their own journey and experiences and ways to experience their life. This is not the only way, but I've seen more people being helped through this means, what we call MFS, than any other means in the detoxification world. The diets, most of us have been through those, and you're going to only get so far with diets. It's giving you the answer in plain sight. Die it. It's the way to death. And eating is not the way to light, from what I see, what I understand. Plants are not eating. They don't even have digestive tracts, unless it's a carnivorous plant. But the majority of plants are living on light, if that's what you want to call it. They're living on fields. We're looking in matter on how they function and all that, but the understanding is not correct, because it doesn't work the way that we've been told. It's all done through field interactions. Yeah, Rana.
Yeah, so I wanted to say that it's amazing. The longer you go on the Master Fast with a mindset that I'm not interested in eating, the more you realize that, my goodness, it's a trap. Yeah.
Well, the food has its purpose, because not that I say it's impossible to jump from an anything diet to move into the light. I'm sure it is possible. Most people would probably kill themselves trying to do it that way until there's a huge shift around the planet where we get that 100th monkey syndrome. And it's just a knowing that, wow, yeah, we can live on light. That it's not, the shift hasn't completely transformed yet, but I think we're moving in that direction. But we like to be safe, you know. We with all the information we know, we don't know it all. We still have a few people that are very challenged going through even the master fast, even with all the tools we use and everything, because we don't have a full understanding of all their ancestral emotional heritage, traumas, etc., etc. This is where everything starts and everything comes from. And the physical things are just an effect where we live and dwell in. So we as we come to more and more of an understanding, I think we'll see that we choose, if we choose to do more work in that area, we'll start seeing much more benefits with people, much more lasting benefits, much more balance happening. I've been talking about emotion as seed right from the start when we started sharing, because it's very clear that that's where all the problem lies. I'm talking through experience, through myself, because that's the only thing we can really express properly. And of course, through the many amazing teachers, it's that within that we need to come to balance with. You know, I'm no different than any one of you. I got all these challenges around me, just like all of you, and we work with it. We do the best we can to express and try and bring balance in the environments that we choose to live. Because at the end of the day, it's always a choice that we make. We can choose to change it, or we can choose to try and adjust and bring balance to these places that we choose to reside, and so on and so forth. I've seen, you know, people just thriving going through their master fast, because it's such a simple thing. Once you get into it, you know, you're relieving yourself from a lot of the daily stresses, I guess you can put, of what you're going to eat, when you're going to prepare, the time, this and that, to go shopping, this and that. It's a simple structure when you're on a master fast. And most people find it's way easier to be on it than when they go back to food. Because you've made the commitment, you're in, you start cleaning the GI tract. Once the GI tract starts clearing itself out, all that emotional stuff, it comes to the surface and it's flushed, it comes to the surface and flushed. So most of the time we're in with that clarity, you know, unless we're really backed up and we have some deep traumatized challenges and so on and so forth. So it's a much beautiful feeling for most of us anyway. You know, like I said, some have big challenges, but people quick to forget where they came from. We see that all the time. You know, did you read your testimonial when you were through the master fast, and you know, they go back to food and start complaining about many things, and they're still light heads from where they were, but they forgot where they came from and how many things they've overcome.
Yeah, I wanted to say that it's not easy to make the decision that I want to stop eating at all. It's actually very frightening. But I'm not saying about the master fast. Doing it for a short period or even 108 days is no big deal to start it. But to say I want to do something like this as a lifestyle, or I want to eat 1 day a week or 2 days a week, it's a big um, it's a big let go. It's not easy for people to do it. I think 1 day a week or 2 days a week, that's still easy because you have your food 1 day a week, so that's not that hard. It's actually harder than master fast because you're teasing your body on and off. But to say I don't want to eat is not it's not easy. I think you just want to start. If you want to keep going, keep going. If you don't want, so it's not going to be a decision that you make from before you start, because the addictions will take over. It's the fear.
Yeah, I don't think anybody should make a decision for the rest of their lives. That's too much stress.
No, you don't do that. But once you're in it and you're loving it, especially I would say after 3 weeks, then you don't even need to make a decision. It's done. It's really done. If this is what you want, if you want, you have in your mind that I want to go back to eating, you're going to go back to eating. But if you don't care about eating, and 3 weeks have passed, I would say it's not that hard to continue. And
Yeah. I've seen many people, going, maybe 30, 40, 50 days, and they break their fast, and the body's nowhere near ready for food. There's still so much work because they're dumping, and they just want to go back to food because for whatever reason they have the fear of something's holding them back from letting go of all that obstruction. Because you got to remember, these obstructions that we're holding on, they have memory. And when we let go of these obstructions, no matter what it is, no matter what you want to call it, whether it's the urine, the feces, the tears, whatever, it's all emotion. And as we're shedding that out, it's part of us that's leaving. Those memories are leaving us. And it comes to that state where people are not comfortable. They feel that something is missing. That's what I'm saying. It feels too good to be true. So they need to bring back that numbness that they had, that where they feel comfortable in. And that's the challenge for most people in when they start true detoxification. It's you're not going to get that through eating fruit. You're not going to get that through eating vegetables. You're not going to get that with herbs. Doesn't happen through diet. It happens when you stop digestion for a long time and start really digging at those levels that very few have experienced at. We see the people that are doing great, balancing, continuously on and off master fast. We see completely a different being than when they started. They're just completely at a different state, and the understanding is starting to come through them. It's just amazing.
it's a good start to do even a short one.
Of course,
It's a good start because
I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm one for for example, a sad eater comes in, does 108 days, and bang, they fall off the wagon. But that memory of that feeling as they were going through master fast and all this experience they have, they're not going to forever forget that memory.
Yeah.
Even though they go back to the numb state. So if that's the choice of the soul to live that numb state again, there's nothing we can help them with. They can complain and point fingers all they want, but there's nothing we can do, because at the end of the day, everybody has to do for themselves.
Yeah, but some people, a short fast, it's totally fine in my opinion, because it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So if if they come from, let's say, a sad diet or any diet, right? and they fast and then they go back, it's going to be similar to what they came from. Like not exactly. It's going to be a little bit cleaner for most people, but it's going to be a little bit as well. They might fall back into their old habits, and the environment is the same. The people they know are the same. They're not used to them eating a different diet. The fast for them was a cleanse, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to do the fast because I have a cancer. And once the cancer, they think it's gone, they go back to their old ways.
Because also the environment is so it's not easy for them, like it is, for example, for somebody who did raw and cooked and, you know, vegan or whatever, you know, for like, let's say 5 years. It's for them, it's new, so they have to adjust a lot of things. They have to buy the right stuff, and you know, the food the interesting food, you know, that we know that they don't know.
Well, that's why we say change everything from A to Z when you start Masterclass Lifestyle. Everything, throw everything out, rearrange your furniture, move, change job, whatever. Just rearrange everything, because all those old triggers will pull you back. And unless you're really strong-willed, that you're really set on those goals, and nothing will stop you, which is possible, but it makes it so much easier when you change everything. It really does. I'm only talking through experience, because I've done it both ways, and when you change everything, it's much easier on you.
Yeah, so maybe like even if they want to do 40 days, maybe a couple, 2 times, 3 times a year, you know, it's a good start. So this way they have the space
Yeah.
between the fast where they can work on their diet, and then if they fall off a little bit, they go back on another 40.
Yeah, somebody who's, not well and living with a family and so on and so forth. The family's not on board and they want to heal.
But it's not gonna work like that,
They,
because it's not up to you to heal. It's not up to you to heal. I want to heal my tumor. I want this. I want. It's not up to you. You really want to make it a lifestyle. You can't say, I'm coming to heal my cancer. You can't do that. Your
no,
body has other stuff to heal.
you need to make it a lifestyle, exactly. But how do you do that when you're in an environment that doesn't support it? What do you do? What do you do? A lot of situations like that.
Yeah, of course, you must change. You change your lifestyle.
Some people, they're not ready to leave their family
Yeah,
to
yeah.
heal.
Yeah.
And we
But,
see
you know,
too, so they jump the fence. They're just not ready to make that change. And they can blame everything and everybody else. But when it comes down to the reality of the matter is look in the mirror, because, you know, any disease is a state of being. It's not one thing. It's your whole being. It's the environment, the way you live, the way you eat, the way you think, the way you breathe, everything, where you work, family, friends, etc., etc., etc. Cancers generally, or most serious disease names that the big pharma gave it, usually have traumatic events sometime in their life attributed to those that started. Goes back to emotion. But this is why we like sharing about the plasma, the GANS materials. Keep them around. I've shared that video of Thomas Alice, who's a fellow student of the Keshe Foundation. He's been there a few years, and his mother has a place in Dominica. Dominica is a little island in the Caribbean. It's not Dominican Republic. It's a different island. It's further, a little further southeast, I believe, in the Caribbean. It got wiped out completely by the hurricane that just went through there. It was not too long ago. And Tom's been applying the plasma waters all over her property. And the hurricane came through, and you can see the video. I posted it, and it destroyed everything on the circumference around her property and the whole island, except the property. People can believe whatever they want. When you understand that plasma is where we all come from, it's always seeking balance, and it's also a protective shield. These things we'll see more and more and more happen as more and more people start tapping into and using these materials. But most of all, these materials are brought forth, the understanding of these materials, so we can learn that we are the plasma. We are the GANS materials. We don't need anything external. This is why we mentor in Masterfast about, keep the plasma love always flowing. Emotion and intent is creation. Make a deposit into the ether of the Masterfast Plasma Bank every day at 432. This is what plasma is all about. That's the power behind it. And what Tom, what happened with Tom's mother's place there, we can call it a coincidence, we can call this and that. That the purpose of that was to show us the power of emotion intent through plasma. So when we, start utilizing and implementing these principles in our lives, things are going to change. The matter has no choice but to change and to come to balance. We see a lot of ugly things still going on in the world with, warmongers and so on and so forth. It's going to come to change if we keep at it with our focus for peace, balance, correct conduct. Has everybody signed the peace treaty? It has nothing to do with Keshe Foundation. It has to do with your soul. That you'd never be involved ever again in anything, in any materials anything to do with war. It's a very basic peace treaty. And once you commit to that, you at the soul level, you're committed to live the way of peace, balance, correct conduct. Did you have something to say, Rana?
Yeah, I wanted to go back to the cancer. So I really believe that everybody has cancer cells. Now the tumors, maybe not, we don't have that. Not everybody has it, but
we're living within a cancer. I don't believe we have cancer cells. We're living within a cancer. There was years ago, there was a satellite shot of a city, I think it was, and it looked very similar to a cancer cell. This is many, many, many years ago. I don't remember where I seen it. So man is the cancer. Man's living in nothing to do with peace, balance, and correct conduct is the cancer.
So yeah, I just want to say that when you're told that you have cancer, it doesn't mean anything, because everybody has it to a certain degree, right? You don't have a tumor, it's not bothering other tissues, you're not feeling it, but everybody has cancer cells to a certain degree, and your body, if it's strong, it's going to take over, take care of that. But if it's not, then you'll start feeling things happening in your body, like abnormal things happening in the body, imbalance basically. And it's very important that not to be afraid when you're told that you have cancer. It's very important.
Yeah, of course. Fear
because
is going to eat you up.
Yeah, because I see this, sometimes people come and they want to fast, come to the massive fast, and they have cancer. Of course, they're scared, But the most important thing is, are you going to change your lifestyle? If you're not willing to change your lifestyle, forget the massive fast. It's not for you, because what you're doing doesn't make any sense. And It's okay to make mistakes, even if you have cancer. Okay, it's okay to fast and make mistakes, even if you have cancer. We all do this, right? Have cancer or not, we all do mistakes. Now, avoid the big mistakes, everybody. But I see, even terminal cancer, versus anybody, I see like there's no difference. We're all the same. It doesn't matter. Yes, some people might have more emotional imbalance than other people, even if you don't have cancer, diagnosis, right? But whatever it is, cancer or no cancer, make it, clean up your lifestyle. It's not going to be a pill by doing 108 days. It's not. You're lying to yourself. If you want to go and eat pasta or whatever, just example, thinking that I want to go back to eat it, well, that's fine. But why do you fast in the first place? If you have the intention to go back. Now, if you don't and you do a mistake, okay, everybody does mistakes, but
most of us have chosen to live to eat instead of eating to live. So many people say, I can't give up my pasta or my steak, or they just can't conceive to give it up.
You can't talk to people who are eating to change their diet. It's almost impossible. Yeah. Really, I mean, okay, changing the diet, yes, but maybe fasting. Or maybe about a human ability to live without food. It's almost impossible. They're addicted. They can't.
The belief system through their program is not there for them to allow to believe that they can get out of their situation by completely changing their diet and fast. It's not there. We see that with people coming on board, blah, 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 starting to go get tests done to make sure, blah, 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 go back and forth. They need that reassurance from mainstream science because they're still holding on to the mainstream science.
Yeah, but
that's their belief system. That's why they're going there. Or they wouldn't be going back to do those tests.
It's going to be confusing, Gina, for most people. It's going to be back and forth at the beginning. Mm-hmm. But at some point, it will be like you and be like, nope, I know the road, and this is the road. But for most people coming from a standard diet, it's going to be a little bit of confusion before they say, you know what? No, thank you. This is the way. I am done. And they choose what they want. For most people, it's going, so the information is there. So it's not just the knowledge.
Everybody chooses what they want. It's the
addiction and fear.
The belief comes through the experience, and for some it's going to take longer than others to start believing. And it's only going to come through the experience. No matter how many other people experiences they read and they see transform. Oh, but does anybody have my disease? That's an impossibility. There's no my diseases anywhere else in the universe. And we see that all the time. Oh, what about, this and that disease and this. There's no such thing. It's impossibility. Mainstream science generalizes with these certain names, and then they start subcategorizing and blah blah blah, because every single human being has a different chemistry, if you want to look at it that way. And even when they do these drug trials and so on and so forth, they know that it's going to act different in every single person. They're only looking at matter state, and in the matter state, every single person is different. But at the emotional level is where it's all created, and that's as vast as the stars. So it's just have that total faith, total belief in your soul, not in my soul, not anybody else's, but at the end of the day, it's all one soul, because we're all part of one. And we just need to have that total faith in our soul. And that is what's going to carry us through, because at the end of the day, it's the only thing that creates the change and creates our physicality and so on and so forth. It's nothing outside of us. It's all within. How are we able to convey the message to people better? It's through living it, through being it, and be the change, because all the words they're only gonna go so far. It's when we create the change, the field strength changes around us. And that is what creates the change, because that field strength is feeding at the plasmatic level all the other beings to bring balance. And this is why we get attacked and so on and so forth. We start losing weight.
And within us. The field interaction also changes within us.
Yeah,
right?
The stronger you go to the
body
center,
is more balanced.
Stronger you go to the center, the soul is where the strongest fields are. That's where the maximum strength is. It's infinite. There's no measurements. We can't put any measurements to this stuff. We go to the power of millions and whatever. It's incredible. We can travel in millions of times the speed of light. Just think about when you're in your dream. You want to go to planet Bella Vita, you're there without any hesitation. You're there, or wherever you want to go. So
I think it's the belief system, definitely, but also how clean your body is. The cleaner your body, the less addicted you are to the not so optimal.
That's what I've noticed.
Yeah. It's easier to change. It's easier to change as you clean up. You're not going to be addicted to the, let's say, burger. When you're fasting and fasting and fasting, you're not going to be creating a burger,
I've noticed it's much easier for people when they start cleaning else to maintain. Even the ones who fall off, we've seen people come back after a year after they fell off, because there's nothing that food can bring them to the state of balance, no matter what they eat, no matter how clean you ate. Like I've been through 100% raw food for many years. It was a great, wonderful experience. But I've shared this before. Didn't matter how clean I ate, my body was always looking forward to the season change when I would fast. Always. It doesn't matter how I was growing most of my own food for the sprouts and stuff. I would buy the fruit, but the sprouts, most of the stuff that I ate was green. I would grow it, all with ocean water and so on. So it didn't matter how clean. It came to the point that my body says, it's time for that digestive vacation. It needed that. And that's what's missing from the majority of people around the world, especially in civilized areas. People living within nature, more so are probably going through forced fasting, which is not something that is desirable. under stresses because they don't have the understanding that it's just a cycle and part of who we are. We don't need to eat. We can tap into our energy source within, because we're doing it anyway. We're doing it anyway, guys and gals. We just need to understand that and believe it, and start to realize that we are doing it, whether we believe it or not, because we're not eating 24 hours a day. We're not a mechanical thing like a car where you fill up the gas tank and then you drive. When the gas tank's empty, you fill it up again. We don't operate on that principle. We operate on the principle of the atom, which is a plasma and doesn't have any food, fuel, wings, or waste, and it's continuously in motion for perpetuity. It never stops, and we're made out of atoms. So why do we keep eating? Why do we believe we need to eat? That's the question only you can find within yourself, because it's has to do with all our emotional side of things. So how is everybody doing then? We don't have blood enough here. We'd like to hear from you guys. This is for you guys. We're not going to be able to expand without people's feedback. Massive Fast has been growing and expanding only because of everybody's participation, beautiful support, and inspiring everybody, each other. That's the only reason it's grown. No other reason. We don't have a flashy anything. We don't, do any fancy marketing or all that. We're just plain Jane, get the correct information for people to be able to take charge of themselves and their lives. It's all about the info to get results, nothing more, nothing less. You go to food pages, there's so many, thousands and thousands and thousands of people on food pages. Every single diet you can think of, there's a page, a Facebook page, and other websites and so on and so forth. Weight loss is huge market, massive. It's incredible. We're about losing waste. We want to lose weight, and we're not focusing on that, but you're going to lose it because all that waste is going to come out. We've had people lose an average of pound a day. Some people, especially overweight people, a pound a day is a lot of weight. Going for 108 days, yeah, that's a lot of weight. We've had people achieve that. We have Margaret, Barbara, Gabriela. Everybody's quiet. Everybody just wants to listen. It's all yours, Rana.
Okay, I'll ask. Okay, we start with Gabriela. Maybe.
Hello.
Hello.
Day 52.
Awesome.
Dry fasting today.
How you feel?
Well, very well. Not.
It's too good to be true.
Yes, indeed. For me, it was easy.
Awesome.
So far. Yeah. Well, I did not have very serious issues. I mean, physical issues. But I wanted to do it. This master fast. Then what I've noticed. Okay, my skin is very beautiful. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And I had a surgery, I think 10 years ago or 11 years ago, I had a lipoma on my hand, and the doctor touched one of my nerves during the surgery. So I had a small part of my arm numb since then. I couldn't feel it. So the nerve was, now I can feel it. I've noticed. So it's like
Magic.
Exactly, nerve regeneration. I didn't even write it on my goals. Most of my goals were spiritual, and I had few, um, like
Isn't it amazing how when you subtract, the magic starts happening?
yes,
All these years of eating whatever it was, I don't care, the body could not repair that nerve.
exactly.
And even though it's all those years have passed, now that you've chosen to subtract,
Exactly. It
the
was
magic.
like, wow.
Is it fully back?
Yeah, is it fully back? Is it
Oh,
like
awesome.
fully back? I
Awesome.
had this the place where was the I had the big lipoma. So when she took it out, I felt it during the surgery that she touched my nerve because I felt pain.
So that's like a big kind of benign growth,
Yes.
fatty.
Yes. I had this on my body, but this was very big, so it was pushing that nerve. So it was started to become painful. So I decided 11 years ago to take it out. It
So,
was bigger than an egg,
Mhm.
bigger. So it
so you
was.
said you had lipoma in different places, but this one was big. So
Yes.
were they still there for a while?
Yes, there are still that. I had my first one when I was 8. So my parents decided to have a surgery. It was on my face. It's still here, but it's very small. It became smaller. I can see it. So
Is it becoming smaller with the fast as well?
exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
I feel that, and it's like wow.
So, yeah, just not to put any fear, worry, or anything. If things start going bigger, don't be concerned, because it does happen sometimes. Because we need to understand that all weaknesses come to the surface, and as long as there's change, for me, it's good news.
Yeah, I read about it
Yeah.
on other people testimonials, so I was like prepared, and but well, now I had, let's say, it's harder and harder to drink the juice lately and to eat the pudding. I mean, I eat very little lately, but okay, I am I'm trying,
Keep the juice up, keep the animals up.
Yeah, oh yeah, enema. Oh my God, what's going on? Unbelievable. It's like, wow, where have you been? In my body.
Yeah, it's not comprehensible.
No, it's not.
It's for all the naysayers, doesn't matter, because let's say it is all pudding. Let's say it is.
No, it's not.
I know.
In my
Let's say
case, it's not. I don't know in their case.
Why does the magic start happening only after the pudding starts going through us?
I don't know.
Those are the questions you need to ask.
Yeah, and the tinctures and everything. So I like the tinctures a lot. They are so strong.
Yeah.
In the beginning, in the morning, I was going back in bed.
Yeah.
For half an hour. I was dizzy.
Yeah. They give you a punch. Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
but
rest,
you can adjust till you're okay with them,
oh yeah, I was okay after a few days of so I work from home, so I am lucky from this
yeah.
point of view. So I live alone. No, I mean, no temptation. So it's easy for me. Nobody's judging me. Anyways, I know very few people here. So I've convinced a friend of mine to start too. I ordered her the tinctures, and she's preparing. She wanted to start on this month on 19 because she has few events at work. So she's afraid that she cannot do it. I mean, she has to go to some events before. So then I'm very curious about her. So she saw the changes in me, so she wanted to do it too. And well, what else? I've been to an event. I had to volunteer together with my colleagues. The company I work organized it, and it was okay. You know, I had my juice, and everybody else was eating. Then yeah, but it's okay now to see people eating or be in presence of people who are eating. It's not me. I don't know when I will break it. I cannot make it to 108 days because I'm going to travel, and then to a conference. We will be in 2 countries, and I want to also to go on Camino, on a Portuguese Camino for 2 weeks maybe. So as long as I have fruits, you know, and dry fasting, so no problem. I will be okay until I am back, you know. So then I will continue. And
never leave home without your enema bag.
Oh no! I don't. No. Last summer I bought also from Romania. I bought 2, but I was traveling also, so I had my enemas
That was
bags with me.
in one of Norman Walker's book, I believe, who lived well over 100 years old.
Yeah.
The original juice man.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your dry fasting schedule like?
Now it's like 36 hours. I cannot make it 24, so I keep it to 36, and I had one 48 hours on March for a season change, and if I start eating, then I will make it longer before I leave. I wanted to.
And every day, how long?
Oh, 12 hours. 12 hours. Sometimes longer. It happened because I forgot my juice home, so I had to dry fast longer.
This
So
is your
12
first
hours?
fast? Oh, sorry.
Well, I started last year in 2017. In the beginning of the year, I felt that I have to change something. So it was on a different group, different fast with green tea and lemon and maple syrup. And then the first time I did it for 3.5 days. So I felt like, wow, I can do it. Then I start searching more about fasting. So I try water fast. No, I didn't really like it. Then I found master fast and dry fasting, and I said, oh, it must be so hard. But then when I was traveling last year, I decided to dry on my flight, you know. So I made it, and I saw, that's not so hard, you know. Actually, so in a full plane of people eating and smelling, you know,
Yep.
I didn't eat. Then I said, okay. Then of course, I went back to Europe. Then I went home to Romania. So then I was eating a lot of tasty food and fruits and even everything else. But then if I overeat, I was going 1 week of fruits, or I didn't fast there at all, except my 12 hours daily. I did that. But when I came back, I started dry fasting. So every week. And then in December, I fasted for 3.5 days. Then I wanted to do the master fast, so I brought some supplies from Europe, and when I could, I bought my tinctures. So I wanted to start on January 1st, but it didn't happen. Some events in my life, so I had to start later on February 15th. So.
Awesome. It's good, great news about your nerve.
Oh yeah.
Some people think nerve regeneration is impossible.
Oh, well, no, it's not. So something.
We've had a few people.
Yeah, something was broke 11 years ago. Now it's back, and I didn't even. I forgot about it, you know. So one day I was, you know, massaging my arm, and I felt it. Wow! Then I realized, yeah, it's like this.
Gabriela, what I would do is I would do 24 hours a week, so 12 hours a day, 24 hours a week of dry, and this is what I do myself.
Yeah.
And then once a month I do 48, because I don't want to lose weight too much too fast. But if you can go up to 72, go for it. But at least, you know, this way you have the 48 more often, and then you have the shorter ones will be easier. This way your body is prepared to go a little bit harder.
The monthly squeeze is very important and very beneficial.
I have to tell you that after the 48 dry fast, the elimination was better. So I could see that.
Oh yeah, you get interesting stuff after a long dry.
Yeah.
It's that squeeze that's why, you know, we have the way the structure of how it's set up for the daily, the weekly, the monthly. It really does wonders. And is where most all the magic happens. The rest is to wash it out. But that's awesome. Yeah. Awesome, Gabriela.
Thank you.
You're where in Quebec? Quebec?
Yes, in Montreal now. I came back to Montreal after my short living in Toronto, and trying to move forward.
It's your new home now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this was my home for 7 years, but I was moving to Toronto with my husband, and my husband passed away in December in a car accident. Suddenly, it was like, it was like, it was hard.
Do you guys have kids?
Excuse me?
Do you have kids together?
No, he has a steps. I have a stepson. Sorry, my husband has a son, and he moved to Asia. He moved to Thailand. So I'm thinking to visit him because I am traveling to China also in June. So I wanted to find a way to visit him for a week. He is very happy and never want to come back in Canada. He's happy there, but okay, we don't know what is going to be. He just announced us that he is taking 1 year off. He's fasting from everything, the internet work. So I am happy for him. You know, it's like
nice.
Yeah, it's a very, very good boy.
How old is he?
He is 30 this year. He's 30 years old. Yeah. So,
Well, you're a good stepmom. You're a good stepmother.
well, his real mother she's not so happy. We are in contact since the events, what happened with my husband. Then she wasn't happy about him, that he wanted to stop working and everything. But me, I said, go ahead. That this will be the future. I think enjoy more and more, and enjoy life.
Exactly.
What do we have to do? Work every day from fixed program? No. This is going to be the future. Live somewhere nice in a and Thailand is a nice country to live. Yeah.
Yeah, they have the sunshine, they have the water, the fruits, all the good stuff.
Yeah. He told me it's so cheap to live here. Yeah, but I think it was hard for him to work from there with the time difference with North America, and he said, okay, I need a break. Well, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Good for you. You're a strong woman.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Here is oil painting Bev Harris did. She sent me.
Yeah. I've seen it last video. I don't know, this week on the
Wednesday I showed up.
Wednesday. Yeah, I've seen the recording.
She's in the UK, I believe. So she's also has put her dog, which had cancer, has cancer, and they gave it a few months to live. It's already surpassed the time that they gave it to live, and it's got a lot of challenges. The dog, and it's moving along, and we pray for the dog to recover. Our pets have all the same challenges that we have because they're eating foods designed by corporations.
Yeah, we had dogs at home. We never feed them like that. We never feed them. We were cooking the food for them every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now it's too hard for people to do that, I think.
It's very simple once you understand. It's much easier than
it's hard to cook for them. People have a hard time cooking for themselves.
Yeah, why they don't become fruitarian? It's so easy. I mean, yeah, it's
yeah. Stay focused now for your next phase, which lasts at least twice as long, and really be focused, because this is where a lot of us have the challenges when we go back to food. Starts triggering things and so on and so forth. So just be cautious, be aware, have those goals always in front of you to focus on, and everything will be all right. Everything will be fine. It's some of us. It's a huge drain when we go back to eating. Like, it just sucks all the energy, it feels like, because we need to relearn how to process these 3D foods again. And that's okay. It's just it goes through a phase and everything works its way out. But it usually lasts at least twice as long as the fast itself. The cleaner you eat, the better you're going to feel, and all will be well. We have Elaine that joined us. Hello. Anything you want to say, Elaine? Unmute. Or I can do it for you. There you go.
Hi,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much for putting together this amazing system. And I'm on day 36 today. Woohoo!
Awesome.
Yeah, so there's been really nothing eventful the last almost week since I messaged you during the live Facebook and I was feeling nauseous. Everything's just kind of moving along.
Yeah.
Nothing major is happening. But in general, I feel so much better. Oh my gosh, so much better.
The nausea's cleared?
The nausea is cleared. I'm experiencing a lot of cravings and I'm starting to become obsessed with food and watching food videos and watching MasterChef and
I went through those stages of watching cooking shows one after another for hours, for weeks.
Yeah.
It's fine. Tap into the emotion of the foods that way. It's satisfying.
It is. It's very satisfying. Mm-hmm.
But it brings cravings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And no. Yes and no.
Because are you thinking about what you're going to eat after? So you're trying to put recipes and things together? Is that what you're doing?
Well, it's evolved into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm also enjoying MasterChef and all these shows that I never used to watch. So yeah, I'm experiencing a lot of cravings. Oh boy.
Yeah, I would avoid the videos a little bit because they really do bring cravings. Because you're thinking about how you're going to eat. So now you're thinking about food. You're not thinking about the fast. And I did that once, and I broke my fast. And
just
it wasn't short.
Keep yourself busy. You know, use the tools. Go in nature. Just keep yourself busy, occupied. And when we're busy, we don't think about food. Just think about kids playing outside. You know, I don't know if they do that anymore, but
yeah,
struggle to get them to come in to eat. You know, I was one of them that never wanted to go inside and eat.
Yeah.
But then the food starts kicking in after so many years. And what time is it to eat?
Yeah. Well, that's my job, actually. I'm an elementary school teacher.
Oh, okay.
I'm around kids all the time, and I'm part of that.
All right.
Yeah. We're on a clock.
Yeah, you guys, you're on a clock, right? For yeah. That's the biggest demise of humanity is programming them to eat. It's in my 2 cents worth opinion, because it sets us up for all these challenges with food the rest of our lives. See it clearly.
But you know what? It's better to eat 3 times than to eat all day long, because there are people who do that. And snacking here and there, and you know. So at least, I mean, I've seen people who eat like just 3 times. That's it. Anything in between will bring them pain. So that's good, you know. So they're fasting between the meals.
Yeah.
But most people don't eat even 3 meals. They eat much more.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, okay, 2 would be great, you know. 1 even better. At least the snacks. Remove the snacks.
Well, I'm starting to be a little more mindful because I'm expected to teach health and eating. So I've just been saying to the kids, eat more fruit and substitute fruit for other things. And that's about all I'm teaching them.
Keep it simple, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, the fallacies of nutrition.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're teaching these days, but
Ellen, I'm inviting tomorrow. I have 14 people coming. My sister's birthday was a few days ago, and so I said, just come over, because I don't want to go out. And I said, I'll make you plant-based food. So I'm going to make food for 13 people tomorrow. And I'm
Wow.
fasting. Yeah, I know. But you know what? I went to the farmer's market today for the first time since I started the fast. Today is day 64. I went to the farmer's market, so I had the whole experience of shopping. And I mean, I was dead because it was a lot of stuff carrying, and I'm fasting, you know. But the whole experience of going to the farmer's market and seeing the fruits again, seeing the vegetables, and putting recipes together, it's beautiful. I like that. And I know tomorrow, today I wash the fruits and the vegetables and everything, and then tomorrow I'll put the recipes together, the food together. But the whole week I've been planning it, which is nice. It gives me joy. When I was eating one day a week, the joy was in planning it, creating the recipe, planning it, making it, like going to the farmer's market, making it, and smelling it and all that. And then taking pictures. I used to take lots of photos. And then after that, when I ate it, honestly, after the first few bites, the joy was gone. And so the joy was not in eating it. The joy was in the whole thing. The whole thing. Because at the end of the day, when I ate, I felt tired. I was tired. And I felt the whole day was wasted on me chewing it, and, for what? A few flavors, So now I'm having the experience of the flavors. I'm smelling it. There's absolutely no cravings. And if you have lots of cravings, then add green juice. It's going to slow down the detox. So if you don't have, it's best not to do it. But for me, when on the weekends now, I'm doing the green juice. And honestly, that gives me the savory flavor. So I have the fruit and the vegetables. And I'm not digesting. Perfect. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
So it keeps me going. No cravings. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, because I've been experiencing cravings almost since the beginning. Yeah, this whole time, the whole 36 days. I'm just using my willpower. I keep thinking I'm going to have some major emotional breakthrough by feeling all these cravings and not acting on them, but so far, nothing.
Are you hungry?
Sometimes I am, but it's mostly just cravings.
How much juice are you drinking?
2 liters a day.
Okay. Because for me, even that I can't drink. It feels heavy. Well, drink more. Sorry, dear.
Is this your first fast?
Yeah. I've done 2 water fasts, one for 3 days and one for 7 days, and they both were terrible. I was bedridden the whole time. I've done lots of cleanses, but this is my first real fast that actually works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The cravings, when you get these hunger pangs, they go away, right?
Always. They always go away.
Because it's not hunger. It's just the monkey mind playing with you, the emotions. So that's why we don't keep busy. Essential oils. If you've got into making any of the GANS materials, keep that material all around you. Do all the different things with that. Take a cold shower, jump into a cold lake, whatever keeps yourself occupied. Like I said, watching the cooking shows, for some people, it triggers cravings. When I was doing it years ago, it was very satisfying to me. It settled me. So if it triggers more emotions, we suggest not to do it. If it's satisfying for you, that's fine. You can watch them. So just see what's triggering you to get these cravings. Pay attention. And then try and avoid what triggers your emotions to get these cravings. Like the hunger things, they come and go. The essential oil of grapefruit is supposed to be very good for cravings. And you can also get a grapefruit and just scratch and sniff the grapefruit peel.
Okay.
That's there's There's all kinds of essential oils that you can work with. I don't know all of them. There's so many. You can read up on that to help with cravings. They really
Okay.
do wonders, essential oils.
I bought a bunch of essential oils from Living Libations, and I have my diffuser. I haven't made
Awesome.
the Gans water, but yeah, I love their products. They're so good.
They're the tops.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
I bought the lemon one, and I was wondering if you could use it in enemas.
lemon essential oil.
Essential oil.
I'm not a big fan of using essential oils internally. You can by the drop if you are inclined to do so. But essential oils, going back to fields, you were in here earlier, everything is about fields. And the
Okay.
reason essential oils work so amazingly well is because we're taking in their fields, which is their odors, right?
Yeah.
And the emotion of man is it works through the lungs, right? So we're taking it in through the nose and then into the lungs, which hits the bloodstream, which is the emotional part of man. So that's why they're so effective. They work on emotion directly through fields. There's really no need to take them internally. You
Okay.
can diffuse them, you can put them external, or just sniff them, whatever. But if you want to use them internal, limit them very, very small amounts because they are powerful.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
I'll mute myself.
What time are we at? 8:25.
How are you doing, John? Are you still strong? You're muted.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm on my dry fast right now.
Awesome.
I was gonna do the 24, but I'm just gonna do 36. It's easier.
Mm-hmm.
I started last night at when did I start? Yeah, I started last night at 8. So rather than end it tonight, I'll just go for the morning and go that. I'm doing okay. I mean, honestly, it's just allowing myself to be as healthy as I possibly can. That's my biggest issue.
Yeah, all of us.
I know what to do. I know how to do it. It's just, I don't know, allowing myself to be as healthy as I possibly can. For me, it's never really been, I mean, it would eventually be physical because I always had a problem with digestion, even as a kid. I just was never regular. So I'm sure that it would have eventually turned into something pretty serious, physically. But at this point, it's just mental. I know I have to clean up. I have a lot of mucus in my nose, my head. And I know life will be so much better once I do this. It's just doing it.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. Just we're always on in some form or another, and we take our little breaks and going back and forth and just living it, loving it. We're so controlled by foods. Everything revolves around food. Everything.
I mean, it's like everybody really, but I come from food is our is life,
Exactly.
And I'm not around it. But when I get down, I always sort of almost regret not being able to sort of eat that food.
Exactly.
Not even eat that food, but be involved in what my family does. That type of stuff. But I know that the stronger I get, like when I'm strong, like when I was on the fast last year, I was like, I had no doubts. I knew I could do. I just felt great. I didn't miss anything. And then unfortunately, when I fell off pretty hard, but it's a pattern I need to break. And that's the only time when I'm feeling lousy that all those old regrets and memories and all that crap comes back up, you know? Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What, how do you see yourself living a healthy lifestyle?
I think that's an issue right now, Rana. I'm almost waiting. I'm almost waiting for some clarity on the fast, you know?
Okay, do you feel better today than before you started?
I feel better. I feel better now that I'm back on it, without a doubt. For me, it's more where I'm going to go next. You know, like what happens to me, Rana, is I'll go somewhere and I'll change from A to Z, everything, and everything will be unbelievable. And then for some reason, I go back to the old environment. And
I think we all do that. Yeah.
You know, so that's just something I need to sort of, because I love everybody. I love, you know, I have a ton of friends that no one does anything like this. And I love my family. I love everybody. But when I'm around everybody, I end up not loving myself and sort of, you know, following the crowd. So that's just one of the things I need to just get my own world, sort of, you know?
Yeah. I think it's important that we focus on ourselves first, and then when you feel comfortable, then go back to them.
Yeah.
When you feel comfortable, but now just because it's a lot of things that your body is going through right now, so you don't want any kind of unnecessary stress. If you can avoid it, avoid it. You know, and then
I know. I do know.
And just do your thing, and then slowly you'll find that, oh, you know, let's call my, I don't know, brother or something. You know?
I mean, honestly, most of it for me is at this point, it's more, I think it's more based around career. And I want to, it's like I sort of have this double-edged sword where I know that money is what it is, you know, I have that mentality, but at the same time, I need to find a way of having just an all-around healthy life, and job included, you know. I grew up where job and life is all intertwined. So I feel like I need to find something that you know, I've never really had a job. It's always been a life. So that's sort of where I'm at now, is trying to either find something I can do, like Gabrielle was talking about, Philippines, going somewhere and doing something online where I could live anywhere in the world, which I would love, or finding a place that is conducive to health, which on this level is hard to do, you know? So, I mean, that's my,
you know, they say when you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. So that's really what a lot of us are challenged to find, going through life and doing things that, you know, we're not our love. We're just doing it because it's survival for a lot of us. And
you know, Gino, even after, like during that last fast, like I've known what I've wanted to do for a long time. It's just allowing myself to do it.
mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. Like, I've always been very giving, but I have a hard time allowing myself things. You know, I had this weird memory today when I was a kid. I have a sister that's 18 months older than I am. And I was always really shy when I was younger. And I had this memory today of like going over someone's house, and they would say, John, do you want something to drink? And I would say, no, I'm fine, thank you. And I think this has to do with the digestion too, like not letting go, or I don't know where this all goes, you know, but they would say, John, do you want something to drink? And I would say, no, I'm all set. And then my sister Jen would go, oh, I'll have something. And then I'd go, oh, I'll have some. You know, it's weird. It's like, I don't know why that memory even came up today.
Well, there's a reason for it.
You know what I'm saying? It's almost like I would almost wait. I don't know. I've always sort of made myself suffer for some reason when I don't need to, and I think we all do it in our own way, you know.
Yeah, I think it's a sense of wanting to feel part of the crowd or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even like the crowd. You know, like, you know, I'll get into any crowd I want and you know, make all these friends or whatever. and then I always get tired of it anyway. You know, it's really not what I want. You know, it's funny.
Yeah, sometimes being all alone, solitude is what we need. Take a break,
Mm.
go within, and see what's in store.
Well, I believe that there is a reason for everything, and there is a reason why you went through what you went through, and there is a reason why you can. Mm,
I do too, honestly. I mean, you know, this time last year I was in a different place, and I know that. I know that I've gone through what I have so that I can help others, or you know, I know that. My thing is I just go back the other way, and then I think of I that's the pattern I need to break.
yeah, because you're not ready.
It's a
Don't be
mental.
hard on yourself.
I know.
Really? Yeah, because you're not ready. So don't worry about it. When you're
Yeah.
ready, you're gonna change. When you're ready, you'll find a job here and there and there and there. You know, you'll be
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I can so many things. You know, and I'm so excited about them all.
I know. And it's coming, and that's why I'm back on again too. You know, that's why I wanted to get I couldn't get the full supper, but I got the 6, and then I got 3 customs, thyroid and thymus, and a couple other ones, and then I still had some male reproductive left because I'd split it with those other people. One was a girl. So that's it. And I load up on the pudding too. Like I go pretty heavy on it. But that's it. I know that as time goes on in this, the clarity is just going to start to come to me more and more. So.
Yeah, you want to. Mhm.
I had a dream. My biggest thing, like my food, obviously, but candy for some reason has always been. I've been like a 12-year-old with candy as a grown man, and I had I had a dream the other night that I was in like some candy store. It's sick. When I woke up, it's like, oh my god, you know, but that's all the stuff you got to clear out.
Yeah, they come.
And when I eat that junk, it makes you feel junky. I don't understand why we are such a masochistic. You know?
It's the addiction of that paste. Nothing more than that first taste. Because once it goes in,
And
it's over. And then we get
For
that.
me personally, Gino, when I eat that way now, automatically my brain starts to go bad. You know, and it's like I don't know how many times. It's crazy.
Yeah. Like, you know, even fruit, you know, it tastes wonderful and everything, but
Yeah, no. Yeah.
you overdo it on fruit, it doesn't
Mhm.
feel good either.
I think for me, I'm not doing enough, honestly. Like in the last few months, I just really kind of wasn't doing enough with my own stuff. So food becomes something to do, you know. And then when you get
Right.
off the food and you have all that time and mental clarity, you start to do so much more, you know. And I think that's sort of been my thing is that when I felt at my best, I've done amazing things. You know, it's almost like my brain turns on and off in the past. So I'll do all these amazing things and I'll get all these things going, but then I'll start to fall off and everything that I was doing before becomes too much. And I just have to like back away from everything, you know? So that's what I have to sort of clear out of me and just, you know, slow and steady. Like what's the thing you say, Gino? Persistence, patience, persistency. And that's what I need in my entire life, you know, and it's so much nicer.
Yeah. Yeah, keeping busy. We got to keep busy. We got to keep doing stuff. Otherwise, food is always on the mind. It's what I've noticed for myself. So the busier you are, the more forget
Right.
about it.
Right. And I know I have to work on my adrenals too because just anxiety and stuff. Like I'm really not an anxious person, but when I'm not feeling good, it's like I use up all my energy and do too much, and then I crash. And then it becomes like I don't want to do anything, you know, even though I know it's crazy. It's all. This is why I'm doing the fast. This is what my goal is: to clear all that junk out.
I want to add that nobody's perfect. We all have our things to work on. So you are not worse than anyone else. You know, like you're not in a worse
Rana, I
place
don't
than
know.
anyone else.
I don't know what it is with me, Rana, but I've always been so like open with people and with,
Mm,
I mean,
it's good.
it is and it isn't, because 95% of people in this universe won't show their weaknesses or won't show their, they're ultra competitive or whatever it may be. And
Mhm.
eventually when I get to know people because of my openness, they open up to me. And I realized this person who had this facade of being Mr. Perfect actually isn't, you know. But I don't know what it is. For some reason, I feel like people can see right through me. I feel, I don't know what it is. And I know it's a gift as long as I can.
At the soul level, you're correct. We can see through each other because we're all part of the one. It's just we're so numbed out in this realm. We're blocked.
Right. And Gina, for
Some
me
of
personally,
you're feeling it. You're not understanding what's up, but you are feeling it.
yeah. And like, for me personally, if I'm not living the lifestyle, I feel so guilty about talking to people about it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what it is. And I know that no one else is perfect either, but for some reason it's like, if I'm not living it, I can't help someone else, or I can't, it's crazy. That's some
Yeah,
of the stuff I need to get rid of,
yeah. We all have challenges. None of us are perfect, but you know, I've been through so many of these cycles and hit very high levels of what some people call health and so on and so forth, and crashed down, killed myself almost, and back and forth.
Gino, how
I
did you, like, I was thinking of you the other day when you were in bed for months and months and months.
almost 2 years.
I mean, I've done that not through, I've done that to myself, not that period of time, but there's been times in my life where I've had those falls, but it's so hard for me to get back for some reason, you know? It almost takes me like twice as long to kind of, get back to on course. And I always feel so, because I tell everybody what's going on, I always feel guilty. So like if have this idea for a business, I like to tell everyone, and because I get so excited about it. And then
Mhm.
when it doesn't work out, I don't want to be around anybody. I feel guilty,
Don't worry about those things. But lying there in bed with the agonizing pain, you get all kinds of negative thoughts going through your mind, right? But the one thing that I had was that belief, that little belief that there's a way out of this, and I'm not going through the system to be cut open and drugged. That's all I had, that little belief. No matter, agonizing pains for sometimes weeks, but I still had that, even though with all those bullshit thoughts going through daily, all those bullshit thoughts. Oh, maybe you're never going to walk in. You may be croaking or whatever. There's always that little belief that got me through. And it took me years, man. It's okay because you've been around here, so look at some of the miracles. Look at Gabriella just told us another miracle. A nerve came back to life. Like, we're seeing this all the time. And for some reason, sometimes we fall in the trap of not wanting. Maybe we don't feel we deserve to feel that good.
Yeah, that's what.
I'm there with you, man. We all fall into these traps. So this is why we have a community to keep
Right.
supporting each other and inspiring. I fall off the wagon just like everybody.
And I love seeing the ones, these people that have been doing the extended, Sandy and.
Yeah, but look where
Fran.
Sandy came from.
I know.
I don't know if you know right from the start, like she was messaging me and I'm going, whoa, this is serious challenges. But she's come a long way, but she still has challenges to worry. It's okay. It's only a couple of years. It's only a couple of years.
And that's a major thing too. It's like life, I look at things and I'm like, I think it's been so long. And I look back and I go, that was 2 years. Like, I've never been very good with time.
Yeah.
Some people can say, 82, the winter was crazy, whatever some people are very good with. I've never been really with time. So like, I'm like, I was looking at a picture the other day and I'm like, that was 3.5 years ago. Like, it seems like it was 6 years ago when I did that. You know,
Yeah.
it's so
It's an illusion time, right?
I know, yeah,
It's
and, you
all
know,
an instant of the moment. With all past, present, and future is all intertwined, really. So yeah, like you look back for things that happened 25 years ago. Sometimes it feels like yesterday.
crazy.
Yeah. With the ups and downs as well, if you're having lots of ups and downs, it's gonna feel very long, right?
It can.
At least for me, I know.
Biggest thing, Rana, is like for some reason family, or I don't know what it is. I don't know if the past programming of just having a family business, whatever it may be. I always have this thought in the back of my mind that like this isn't where I'm supposed to be. Wherever I may be. Like right now, I have to decide where I'm going to go next. Whether it's California, I may go to I have some opportunities, but I'm not sure where to go.
Yeah. Right. Start writing down ideas and stuff. Put them on paper, and just look at them. Maybe write down your pros and cons for each one of your ideas, and see where that takes you. Start letting it flow instead of keeping it in. Sometimes we have to do things for short periods of time that we don't really want to do. Like, maybe, like I'm just example, working with your family business or whatever. I'm just putting it out there. Doesn't mean it has to happen. Whatever, for short periods, just time till the opportunity, the universe brings it up because we have our focus somewhere else, and it'll just manifest itself and start happening for you.
Right. No, and I know that. And, like where I felt, when I felt last year when I was on the fast, like I felt unbelievable. And I basically knew, Gino, that it's like, it doesn't matter where you are. I felt awesome. I felt unbelievable.
Exactly.
But then I just went the other way and it's like, this guilt, whatever the heck it is, it's like, I feel like I need to go, I don't know.
Jonathan, it took me since I broke my fast. By the way, as soon as I break my fast, I want to get back on the fast.
Yeah.
Every time I broke it. Okay.
You have no idea how jealous I am that you have a colonic.
Don't worry. Do your enemas.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's been such a thought in my head lately. Like, wow, that, because I go towards restaurant and think, juice bar, all that other kind of stuff. But lately I've been looking into colon hydrotherapy and all that. And I'm thinking, man, what an advantage that must be.
Yeah, it's definitely a better place to put your money than a restaurant.
Well, I've always had that. I come from half my family's mayhem and my other side is not. So, I come from that. You got to be doing something all the time, that restaurant stuff. But at the same time, I think I get stressed out by it, but I've never had that career where something like that, where it's like, like coaching and stuff like that. I want to gain the clarity so that I know that I can do something like that,
Yeah.
And it's such a calmer, nicer life,
The main thing for to learn things is sometimes we start teaching things in order for us to learn.
Yeah.
Even though we're at the same. That's how we learn, through teaching as well. Restaurants. Who wants to open another restaurant? We need more colon hydrotherapies to clean the shit that everybody's filling themselves up with.
I was talking, by the way, for the client. For the client, it's better for me to put my, as a client, my money into a colonic service than a restaurant for food, because that's going to be more waste,
right?
But also for a career.
Every hospital should have a colon hydrotherapist. Emergency first thing, they should be getting a colonic. I guarantee you. You're going to see the death rates and everything else going down. Just people are so full. They're just so full. And that usually solve that problem for whatever they're in there for 99% of the time.
Gino, when you said like teaching and that kind of stuff, like I have a hard time taking money for some reason. That's a major issue with me. It always has been. So, whenever I talk to people, even just my sisters and anybody, even if I'm in a bad place, when I start talking about just the lymphatic system and all that kind of stuff, I get these goosebumps through my whole body. And it automatically makes, you know what I mean? I know that I'm talking, it's almost like the universe telling me that I'm talking about the right stuff.
Yeah.
It's just the persistency and the consistency. That's it.
Yeah. It starts becoming part of you, and then the information starts coming through, even though you've never read it anywhere. It starts happening,
Right.
and you're living it, and so on and so forth. It just starts. The answers in plain sight.
I know, and that's. Oh, you know what? I just started reading Eric's book today.
Yeah, excellent.
But
Excellent.
I'm reading which one? Mucusless Diet today. I read, and it's amazing that a man, so long ago, before, even now it's hard. I couldn't even imagine back then, and it's just having the faith in what's coming to you, that it's the right thing.
Yeah. Pay attention, read it a few times. There's a lot of good info in his books.
Yeah, I started laughing at the end when they're going through recipes and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I mean, the whole beginning of it, I was already, as I'm reading it, I sent it to like 4 or 5 people, and I'm like, it's like, instead of absorbing it myself, I want everybody else to get on board,
Yeah. That's I used to be like that, wanting to tell the world about everything, and then after a few years, I realized nobody was interested. But occasionally a person that I've told something about, maybe a few years later, they came of interest. So it was like a seed being planted in people.
Yes, and I've seen that too.
Yeah. So after a while, I just stepped back from, unless people started asking me things and so on and so forth. And this is why we have it structured this way. Masterfast is here. The information's all here. You want help? We're here to help, but we're not interested in out there anywhere. We're in the club and we support fully.
Right. And it's so true. Like I honestly, I just want everybody to get along,
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I remember even as a kid, like in high school, I was friends with every group of people, and I would try to throw a party and invite everybody. And so wouldn't show up because he didn't like, and I'm thinking, what's the big deal, man? Why don't you guys just get along? But
everybody's welcome, but nobody's going to be causing any problems where we are. We don't have.
And a lot of people, like we talked about earlier, a lot of people have that facade that they can't break down.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to break down.
Fictitious borders, right? We've been ingrained with these fictitious borders around the globe.
Right.
You see birds having a passport to fly over borders, or animals, or come on, guys. It's a facade. Yeah, it's a facade, man.
I'm jealous of you Canadians, Gino.
Why?
Because you're like the peacekeepers of the world. Like, you guys, I talked to some people in the group, and Moon Matheson is from Canada, and we were talking about something. I said, Canadians can go anywhere in the world. Everybody likes you guys. It's It's funny how every country is a little different.
We have every culture around the globe, and just in Toronto.
I know.
Yeah, I know. This is the beauty of Canada, really. This is the beauty of Canada. That you have all these people from different everything, different color, different religion, different language, everything. Everybody coming together. Yeah, of course, they're not gonna like each other sometimes, but for the most part, they learn to live together. They're exposed. This is important. Exposure to different cultures and different everything.
But Rana, more than that, the country is very, very, big cities in America are the same way. But for me to travel somewhere else, it's different if I have an American passport or I have a Canadian passport.
Yeah, well,
you know what I'm saying? Like, Americans is such we're a brutal place.
Yeah,
so,
but still,
Canada has never really fought anybody. It's just funny.
It's still looked at as a very powerful country compared to Canada, for example.
Yeah.
In a way, it's good to be not the most powerful. I like to be number 2 because less ego.
Here, you guys are living healthier than a lot of people in the world.
There's lots of changes happening. I believe we're going to see the day where borders will be a thing of the past. With the plasma technology that's coming to light, It's you know, it's just a way to keep people dumbed out and programmed and so on and so on, easy to control. But if everybody chose to live in peace, balance, and correct conduct, all that crap would be instantly vanished from our consciousness, fighting each other, because it's ridiculous. Who wants controversy when you can be happy all the time? Why do people choose controversy? I don't know. It's just the program running.
Some people, it's all they know.
Yeah.
The only way they know how to get any excitement in their own life, because they're so,
Yeah. So, let's focus on all the solutions, because the solutions are there.
I saw Tom's video before.
Your voice went down. You can't hear you. What?
No, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I saw that video of Tom before you posted it. I know it's the third time we're talking about it now, but
it's okay.
That was amazing with the plasma, where he just you saw the border of where he was feeding the plants, and then he walked out his driveway, and every leaf and everything was up. It was phenomenal. That's amazing. He's
got jars of plasma all over the property.
And, that's something. I was almost ready to do it, and then I haven't done it yet, but I know that that's a huge.
It's great to work with it, to understand the power of it, but really we have it within.
Right.
So it's good for everybody to handle it and play with it, and feed it to animals, feed it to plants, and watch the power of this, the magic. So it brings us to the understanding that it's us. It's not because we are the plasma. So I'm trying to do the leap jump. Forget about this stuff, and let's go within and utilize what we have. But these are wonderful things to have as tools, because we're seeing magic happen in the plasma world all the time. So it's just that was a great, amazing example, and it happened the way it happened because we need to learn from it. That's why it happened. Yeah. So. Yeah.
No, but everything's good, guys. I love you. I'm always here I just try to be in this as much as possible, because I'm still waiting for Rana to appear.
We love you. We love you, Jonathan, man.
We love you, Jonathan.
I love you too, guys.
We love all you guys. This is awesome. You see, we're here week after week. We're on the page every day. We're doing the best we can to support people who are willing to change their lifestyle. We don't have all the answers, but what we're working with works very well, and we keep learning from each other, and we move forward. It's only going to get better and better. I don't see anything that's going to stand in our way, unless they wipe us all out. So, the information is here, and we keep sharing in the club, and everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. All right, we're oh wow, we're already at the 2-hour mark. My goodness, the time just flies by. So I guess we'll call it a night tonight, and let's stay focused. Let's keep busy. Keep using the tools. Keep supporting. Keep inspiring. And all is going to be on that road to find that balance, because I don't like what I used to do. I like moving towards balance. It feels much better. Living in pain, suffering, misery, and it's not fun. Not fun at all. I feel heavy when I see people in pain. I'm sure you're the same. Below you want to help people. Sometimes it's just not their time. It's not them for them to make the changes, and it's, maybe it won't be in this lifetime. But the ones who do, we see magic happen. And it's okay we fall off. It's okay. We, as long as we get up and we know that, we have a path, and no matter how many times we fall, we're going to still keep going. As long as we make that decision, it'll all be well. I believe we'll see peace on this planet. I believe we'll be able to see peace on this planet. There's no other option for humanity and to go any other way, to continue to go where it's going. It's doomed. Like, just watching things about how much crap is in the oceans and stuff. My goodness. Like, how do people do this stuff? I don't know. We're all part of the, we're all to blame. Each one of us contribute in some way or some form, but at the same time, we all have the answers within to change this. So let's focus on the solutions. With plasma technology, we can clean the planet up in no time. Really, we can. It's not that big of a deal to do. It would not take that much time if people started focusing and started implementing some of these things to change. Like, there's companies focused on just cleaning the ocean. They're out there every day. They have teams of just taking garbage out of the oceans. So, things are changing, guys. Let's focus on all that solution stuff, because it's happening. The more and more people are focusing, stop farming animals for food, because we don't need to do that, and, eventually it's going to come, what are we doing? Factory farming plants. That ain't right either. And eventually, we're going to come to the light, well, I'm not hungry and I'm thriving. What do I need to eat? And then it'll come to that. So it'll be an evolution, a slow evolution of things changing little by little by little, until one day it's bang, the light comes on for everybody and we're living in the light. That's the way I see it. So I pray that that day comes sooner than later, and we can all enjoy and feel that wonderfulness of creation, of what it is. So it's 9 o'clock. Another 9 is divine, and we'll call it a close. And thank you guys for pitching in and joining and inspiring and teaching, mentoring.
Love you.
Love you all.
Love
Let's
you
keep
all.
that plasma love flowing. Thank you all.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.